If you ever wanted to know how to get the perfect pink shade on blonde hair, you're not gonna wanna miss this video. I'm gonna show you my go-to highlighting placement that's perfect for rooted blonde, and I'm also gonna share my best tips for toning into the perfect pinky mauve shade using all Kenra color. And if you're new here, my name's Morella Manelli, and I'm a hair educator and salon coach, and I'm so excited to get this video started. But before we do, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a video. Now let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, my model is naturally a level 7, and she has tons of blonde. As a matter of fact, she's had quite a hair journey going from brunette to blonde, and now it's been a few months and we're looking to just move up a little bit of this blonde towards the root area, keeping it low maintenance. And her overall goal is to create a pinky mauve shade while still making it low maintenance. So she wants to make sure that it's going to fade on tone, and I think we have the perfect formula for her. We're also going to be adding in a few custom colored hair extensions as well to fill in these little bit of gaps that she has towards the end. So not only to fill up the density, but also add a pop of color. What we're going to be using for this project is Kenra Professional Beyond Bond Lightener at a 1:2 mixing ratio with 20 volume developer. I personally love this lightener because of its bond technology, but now that it's been reformulated and we're going to get a little bit extra pow and lift out of this, I'm super excited, especially because of how light we need to get our canvas. I am looking to bring it up to that level 10 in order to create these really pretty pinky mauve shades that we're going to create. So to pre-section her, I'm taking her from the apex down behind the ear, keeping her middle part, which she has a little off center. Now, this particular model does have an undercut, so I'm going to pretend like that is not there. So I'm going to take a deep V section. This is right on her occipital, as you can see, and I'm just going to tie that away. I'm also using my Dream Weaver comb to create some really beautiful seamless highlights throughout this entire section. Like I mentioned, our overall goal is to remove a little bit of that orange banding that she has going on. So this was from her prior root melt that she had that was a little deeper. So what I'm looking to do is bring that Beyond Bond down just a little bit while keeping these highlights still pretty rooted. So not really focus on taking it right all the way to the root. So what I'm doing is feathering up my lightener. This is going to give you a much more seamless blend, and it's not going to give you as harsh of a line of demarcation as if I were to go in with my brush completely horizontal. I typically like starting off with V sections on the underside or even on the occipital for the reason of how the highlights will veil over that roundness of the head. So just kind of keep that in mind when you are adding in these types of highlights in the back. Make a purpose and a reason for your placement. Typically, I like to start out with those hairline highlights, but like I mentioned, she has that undercut, so we're going to skip that altogether. I'm going to be doing my diamond sectioning or my triangular sectioning, which is what I normally do for most of my highlights. It is my go-to for global brightness and also adding in some ribbons. So keep in mind that these diagonals are going to give you the ribbons, and the horizontals in the back are what is going to give you the global brightness that we're looking for out of this entire look. Now, there is a little trick when using the Dreamweaver comb. So if you don't have it, simply take a slice and then weave right on top of that slice. That's how you're going to get the best effect. But in order to use this Dreamweaver comb, a little tip is you want to take a really clean, thin slice, and you're going to insert the comb with nice tension. And that's how you're going to get that beautiful separation between all of those pieces. So if you don't have the tension, I've learned that it gets kind of messy, and you do need to put a little bit of effort just to kind of separate those hairs a little better. But honestly, I find that it is very time saving, especially for a project like this. Another reason why I love using Beyond Bond, I forgot to mention, is the fact that she does have a lot of these blonde pieces. But this lightener is almost forgiving anytime you do need to overlap. Now, I'm not saying overlap every single time, but what I am saying is that it is a little forgiving. You're always going to want to be transparent when you do need to do some overlap with your client in regards to breakage. So we know that anytime you do overlap, it is going to make the hair a little weaker, but I do need to bring this lightener down just enough to help break up this line. And this lightener is the best option for me and this project that I'm working on. Now I'm at the very top section, and the entire back section that I completed only has 6 foils in total. But what I want to show you in this crown area is my go-to pivoting technique. Each of these subsections are smaller than what I did in the back. So these are about a 1/2 inch wide, and they pivot, creating little pizza slices. So everything is going to be slightly wider towards the left-hand side and more narrower on the right-hand side. And it creates this really gorgeous fanned out sectioning, which is the perfect blend, especially for clients that have a lot of cowlicks and you want to strategically place the highlights so you can't really tell exactly where they're coming from. This is the sectioning for you. This is what it looks like completely installed, and you can tell that on the right hand side it is diagonal, and then it starts to finish off more horizontal to your sectioning, and that's what's going to create that fanned out section. So again, keep in mind they're pizza slices, a little wider on the left and a little narrower on the right, and you can customize this according to your client's cowlick or however they normally brush their hair back. But give it a try. Let me know down in the comments below if you are willing to try out this sectioning or have tried it, and do you love it or do you hate it? Now we're heading on to that front section. I'm going to take diagonal sections, and right here I'm going to kind of pack these highlights in a little bit more because we definitely want to see more of that blonding towards the face. Her undercut does go all the way to that front, so I am going to take her highlights right along her hairline. And in order to have a little bit more control, I'm not taking as wide of sections right here in the front because I want to get a little closer to that root area than I did in the back. So I'm only putting in the amount of hair that actually can fit inside of my foil. And generally this is a 2-finger rule of holding out the peace sign. That's about as wide as what you can comfortably fit inside of your foil without it kind of bubbling on the side. For her entire front area, I am adding in back-to-back foils, and the reason for that is because, again, we want the max brightness, and even though I don't have enough background to give her a money piece, I'm going to still use my money piece placement, which I have an entirely other video on how I do that. So anytime I want to have max brightness and overall make it look or appear as a solid blonde but still have a little subsection going on, this is where all of my subsections are going to be about 1/8 of an inch wide and adding very, very little hair in between. So you can see I'm taking that Dreamweaver comb and weaving that entire section that I created. I'm going to finish this up on both sides until I get to a very perfect triangle section on the top that's left over, and then I'm going to incorporate that pivot motion or fanned out placement that we did right there in the back top. So this is how we're going to marry that technique all together. I find that this placement just again gives the most seamless blend possible, making this low maintenance when this tone does fade out. The difference here with this particular placement though is that more of the brightness is going towards the face and the wider section is away from the face. So that pizza slice once again is a little wider on the left side and more narrower on the right side. And you're going to do the opposite when you work on the opposite side because you want to make sure that the foils are getting really close together going towards the face because that's where we want all of that brightness to live. So here is the entire placement of what it looks like. In total, I think I have about 25 to 30 foils. Now I did add a few more closer to that hairline, so that definitely added to the toll. But I processed her for 30 minutes room temperature, and then I took her back to my shampoo bowl, and we got a gorgeous lift, and her hair is still in great condition, intact. And now I'm going to get ready to do her glaze service. Now, something to keep in mind, because we are going to be doing a more creative shade, I'm going to make sure to thoroughly cleanse her now, because when she's done processing, I only want to do a really thorough cool rinse, so that way her toner and the overall pink shade we're going to put in is going to give her the most longevity. I shampooed her out with Kenra Professional Luxe shampoo. I did not condition, and I 100% dried her hair. And now I'm mixing up her next formula, which I'm going to be doing a root tap with 7NA at a 1:2 mixing ratio with 9 volume developer. And then I'm going to blend that right on into 3/4 8 ROM to 1/4 9 VM. And this is going to give me a beautiful pastel pinky shade that's going to be perfect blend from that 7NA into that pink. Now that I have our formula ready and her hair is 100% dry, I'm going to just put her hair into 4 quadrants just to make this application really easy for me. And I don't know about you, but I'm actually really excited with how this already looks and how it turned out. I can tell that this is going to be rather low maintenance for her, because now we're incorporating all of that natural hair color that she has going on instead of what looked like a bleach and tone prior. I'm applying my 7NA to about the first 1/2 inch to inch in the back section first. And I personally like taking these vertical sections. I feel like it just kind of goes by a little quicker for me personally, instead of doing the traditional horizontal sections. I've been kind of doing this a little bit more lately. And once I get this entire back section applied, I'm going to comb it through with a wide tooth comb. I'm 100% okay letting this deposit and process. What I love about Kenra Color is it is non-progressive. However, with Demi's, the longer you do leave it on, the more of a saturated finish you're going to get and longer finish you're going to have. So I'm okay knowing that that 7NA is going to look exactly like 7NA by the time I'm done, because I am looking for maximum saturation. I'm going to apply this to the front as well, and once I have that on, I'm further going to separate it, because this hair is so blonde, I don't want that 7NA getting onto my ends. So I do have a little foil here just to separate it. This is kind of like my personal little hack. I have that clip there as my anchor piece. It does not move except for the very top section every time I'm pulling down a brand new piece. So from here, I'm going to take that 8 ROM and 9 VM formula and blend it right into those mids and ends. And a little tip for myself is you really want to work this product right on in. And the best way to do that is just take that brush and comb and apply that end formula right onto that line of demarcation where that 7NA meets the dry hair. Just go ahead and slap it right on in and make sure to really work it through. Now, while I have her color processing for about 20 minutes room temperature, I'm prepping her hair extensions. So I'm going to use what was left over from her toner, which was the 8 ROM and 9 VM. But for those secondary pops of pinks, I'm going to be using Kenra Creative's Dusty Rose with a little bit of Velvet Wine. And I'm going to apply them onto just one pack of really blonde Carol Inks and let those go ahead and process. So I just make sure to thoroughly saturate those and process those for at least 20 minutes. So typically I kind of have these going on in tandem while her actual color's processing, and having a little extra hand of help to go ahead and dry these and wash them and everything does help as well. Now that her extensions are processing, I took my model back to the shampoo bowl and I'm going to do a thorough rinse with her. I'm not going to shampoo because I really want these pastel pinky tones to really last as long as possible. This is why I did the shampoo prior to. So I rinsed her hair for a solid 5 minutes, just made sure all of the color was completely out of her hair. You don't want it to get irritated or feel uncomfortable when she does go home. And then I followed up with this brand new Rapid Hydration Mask Enrich from Kenra Professional. I'm actually really excited about this mask. Normally I would go in with a conditioner, but I felt that this was a perfect opportunity for me to add value to her service by offering a mask right at the bowl. This only takes about 3 minutes for it to do its job, but it's going to improve the softness and the shine. And I figured since we did a bleaching service on her, why not go in with a more heavier formula, which was the rich formula. So if I didn't do any color to her, I'd probably send her home with the Rapid Hydration Mask in Light, and it's just perfect for somebody who has more medium to finer hair texture. Once she was all done, I added in some Luxe One leave-in along with the Perfect Blowout and did a rough dry on her. And I didn't want to add too much product to her because I added in these Kenra links, just a few strategically placed throughout the entire back section. I only added in 1 full pack, which was a total of 20 pieces. And again, this was just to add in that fullness and additional pops of color with that Kenra Creative custom color blend that we did. Once I got all of her extensions in, I then added in some dry texture spray before adding in my 1 1/4 inch Marcel iron curls. All of the curls were curled away from the face and then alternating right in the back. I actually love using dry texture spray for curling because it does give me a little bit of hold and grit, but still leaving the hair nice and soft. And then once I was all done with that, I finished her off with some spray clay for added texture and definition. And here's the final result on how to do a low maintenance rooted blonde blended into a gorgeous pinky mauve shade using all Kenra Professional color. So just to give you a little recap, I used Beyond Bond Lightener at a 1:2 mixing ratio with 20 volume developer and strategically placed some baby lights throughout her entire hair. And then after processing for 30 minutes, I shampooed her out, 100% dried her, and applied her final color melt glaze, which was Demi Permanent 7NA, and blended that right into 8 ROM with a little bit of 9 VM for a really beautiful blushy finish. I processed her room temperature for just 20 minutes and then did a thorough rinse and layered in some Rapid Hydration Mask in Rich, so that way she could have a really smooth and hydrated finish. I then 100% dried her hair with Luxe One leave-in and the Perfect Blowout and prepped her for her extension install, and we custom colored them with Kenra Color Creatives in Dusty Rose with a little bit of Velvet Wine for a nice pop of extra pink. I then curled her with a 1 1/4 inch Marcel wand using dry texture spray and then finished her off with spray clay. I'm really excited for how low maintenance this is going to be because now we've blended her natural hair color into that bright blonde that she has going on, and that 7NA and even this gorgeous cool pink tone that we've added in is going to fade on tone, and I'm only going to see her back in about 8 to 10 weeks. Just add in a few more highlights and continue on with this rooted look that she has going on. I'm super excited that she loves it and hope you like it too. So I really hope you enjoyed this hair tutorial, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. You can also find me on my other social channels like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all under Morella Manelli. And if you want free education sent right to your inbox, be sure to head on over to my website, morellamanelli.com, and join the newsletter. Don't forget to listen to my podcast, Hair B&B. It's where I help hairstylists just like you simplify hair, beauty, and their business. And if you're a hairstylist looking to elevate their social media game, maybe you want to learn more about brand partnerships, monetization, or how to negotiate some brand deals, you're not going to want to miss out on my group coaching session called Beyond the Chair Mastermind. It's where we meet once a month to elevate your social media marketing game. If you want to learn more about Beyond the Chair Mastermind, be sure to check out the link in the description down below. And if you want a little behind the scenes of what it's like to be a YouTuber, salon owner, content creator, and entrepreneur, I'm wearing way too many hats here. Be sure to check out my YouTube memberships right here on this site. Plus you get the cute little clip and blow dryer emojis. I mean, how fun are those badges? And finally, all of the links to everything I discussed are right down below in the description. And be sure to check out my other videos right here on this channel, and I will see you in the next video. I literally do way too much.